to sort of
get on.
Yeah, in fact, it was freezing up. I'm not sure why earlier, but it looked like it's up and running now. So, yes, ma'am. Ready to go.
Yes, ma'am. Ready to go. So, guys, we have Anita. Well, I keep on saying Clarke, but Anita is a wife, Mrs. Sutherland. And congrats again. And she is, I mean, everything that is extraordinary is Anita Clarke. And one of the hats that she wears is makeup artist. And not just any makeup artist, you're a licensed makeup artist, right? So who better to give us advice to our brides that are still planning their wedding, still going ahead regardless of this COVID situation, and they want clear skin for that day, and they also want flawless makeup for that day. Before I start, for those who don't know who I am Latoya Dewar. I am the founder of Plan-tastik Professionals, and we do event and wedding planning and empowerment events as well as a part of my brand. And tonight we have Anita Sutherland. So, Anita, you want to tell us a little bit about you, how you got started before we get into all the tips and stuff, how you got started into makeup, all of that.
Sure. So, as Latoya said, thanks again for having me, Latoya. It really is a privilege to share this platform with you, and I'm looking forward to share with your viewers some of the key tips as it relates to applying makeup for their big day. I started makeup artist professionally about, I'll say about 4 or 5 years. I got certified at DeMarie, big demo. So
right.
principal is amazing, and I started doing makeup artistry because I love art. And I see the face as a canvas and a way for me to express myself, and also adding value to people's lives for them to feel beautiful, by accentuating beauty. So that's pretty much or how I started.
Okay. So, question for you is that what are some of your tips for brides, wanting the clear skin going as much? Sometimes you want to clear up the skin, but it won't come as quick as you want. But there are some home, say you have a wedding in 6 months. What are some of the home remedies apart from those harsh chemicals that, dermatologists will give to us? What are some of your home remedies that you can say that have worked?
That has worked. I would definitely recommend cleansing, toning, and moisturizing, because before you get to makeup application, you want to ensure that the face is smooth. And even if you don't have the money to get it done professionally by a dermatologist, there are home remedies and products that you can purchase without a prescription to ensure that your face is looking as you want it to. Because one of the things you want to avoid, and one of the things that can be very bad on the day is to have scaly. This is skin that has not been exfoliated over a period of time. So you have build up dead skin cells and dirt and that is hard to correct with makeup as opposed to a pimple. So you could buy super exfoliant scrub from beauty stores. There's discount beauty supplies that I can survive. Then the face. And also visit Rock. And Rock is a most island wide. They sell the Rock cleansers, the toners, and the moisturizers. And you want to ensure you're consistent with this to ensure that you see the results. You can't start 2 days or 3 days and say, all right, it's not working for me. You have to be consistent with it for you to really see the results. So cleansing, toning, and moisturizing, and also exfoliating are 4 key things you want to do leading up to your big
right. Right, and when we say leading up to it, the groom want to look good so on that day. So these tips that you're giving for that aspect, the men can exfoliate
Giving out the
and
makeup,
do all of those.
your face will be photographed as well, and you want to ensure that you're looking just as beautiful as your bride. So you too should be cleansing, toning, moisturizing, and exfoliating. And as I said before, you can
Right,
buy these products in any beauty store, any pharmacy. I'd say generally they're pretty cost effective. You have some that's as low as $1,500, and that's for cleanser and
right.
moisturizer. So you just have
So
to
what,
decide on which one you believe is best for you and try it until you find the one.
all
Or you can go to a
right, so
strategist to get your skin fixed and for them to put your
right,
because a lot of persons forget that it is very important for you to take care of the skin and you can't just wait until a day or two before the wedding for you to be saying, oh, I'm getting married, I need to start this out. No, you have to ensure that you start the program at least 2 to 3 weeks before so your skin can adjust. Because usually when they get a facial, a professional facial, either at a spa or anywhere else, the skin takes a while for it to heal. And sometimes it's after you've done the procedure, the pimples start and the impurities start coming up. So you don't want to do it too close to the wedding, and then on the day you have a lot of pimples to work with, which is why the 2 to 3 weeks window is
right.
that's beauty therapy.
All right. So then, so those are the stuff that are available in pharmacy. So you know, have no remedy like mix up some mayonnaise with some honey or some avocado with some honey.
Let me tell you, the home remedies that have worked for me. I love honey, and I love honey on my skin. I also love aloe vera. We sometimes underestimate
Right.
the power of the natural products that you can find in your backyard. And aloe vera is one of those things that I not only use on my face, I use in my hair as well. And it really calms the skin if you're having like breakouts or rashes. That works for me. So what I normally do is put them up in cubes and I rub it on my face and leave it on for half an hour, 15 to 20, 30 minutes, and then I rinse it off. You can also use sugar as a scrub.
Sugar.
Sugar.
Sugar. I forgot to try that one there. Sugar. First I hear that one.
And for persons who eat egg, and it's not just for the face, you know, it's a good exfoliant for the skin. So you can add a little essential oil to the sugar, and you get a nice scrub. And you finish with that, man, your skin smooth like butter.
Right. Someone said coffee grinds. Yes, I've heard of coffee grinds.
Personally,
To
I personally have not used it, but I know that it works. You can also try oatmeal
right as a scrub
as a scrub and baking soda. That clears up the
and baking.
no time. And baking soda is relatively cheap.
Okay. All right. So we get a little skincare before the wedding. So typically on a wedding day, what time? So the bride have a 3 o'clock wedding. What is the best time? Because we know as ladies, we take forever to do that aspect of it, to titivate and all of that.
And to look
What is
so much bad, right?
what is the average? What is the average time? Tell them, because as a planner, you know, we have to be like, you have to be at the venue at X time. You have to get out at that time. But then, oh no, the makeup artist is still touching up here and touching up there. What is the time frame to get ready for your big day? Is it 1 hour, 2 hour? Tell them so they can know, you know, that they prepare for that allotted time just for makeup.
If you're a disciplined bride and your makeup artist works relatively quickly, I would say anywhere between 45 minutes to 1 hour for makeup only. If you're
Anita, 45 minutes.
5 minutes to 1 hour, yes, I'm telling you, 45 minutes to 1 hour for your face. And this is just for the bride. If you have a large bridal party, then you know you're going to have to multiply that by the amount of people, right? And,
Right.
and also, you also have to bear in mind the skin conditions because a lot of persons keep the trial or the consultation and they wait until the day of the
Right.
to meet the makeup artist, and this is something that I would advise against, because you want to ensure that the person not only knows your shade, but they understand the skin condition. What if you have a bridal party of 4, for example, and all of them have really bad acne? If your makeup artist knew beforehand, she could get some assistance, or she would know to come in a little earlier to prep their skin to hide as much of the blemishes as possible.
All right. So, that is key information, Anita.
You do a consultation as best as possible.
Right.
Because that will cut the amount of time that it takes for you to get ready.
So that is, I'm taking away that, because maybe some brides really don't know that consultation with a makeup artist is necessary, and they think that you can just show up on the day, and then that's the day you're trying to figure out skin tones to match with all of your your makeup that you have to match their tone. So that is key information. So guys, consultation with your makeup artist, just like rehearsal, is necessary, right?
Ensure that you have a
and
you arrive on time without any
issue. So what is the next tip that you would give a bride, apart from, all right, 45 minutes to each person, whether it's
for each phase?
For each phase. So that's key information. What next? What is the next tip? Say it's a morning wedding. What is it against a morning wedding? What kind of makeup you'll be wearing for morning and night? But sometimes, just for me, for example, last week, well, not 2 weeks ago, I did a live with, I think it was with my mentor, and I had on a nude lip gloss, and my sister, in the middle of the live, text her nephew to say, "Tell your mother to put on some lip gloss." I had on nude. It didn't show any at all that I had on something on my lip. So, right. So give us some advice in terms of morning wedding makeup to night, evening wedding makeup.
Okay. So for morning makeup, you want to ensure that you go matte. Right? And there's for this. I'm not saying if you're a bride that is into the bag of excitement and shimmer you can't, because there's no rule in the book that say you really can't. It's just for photograph purposes. If you're going to go with shimmer, you have to be very careful with the whole heap of glitter, because if you're working with a photographer who doesn't really understand editing, he will have a serious problem, like canceling out the flashes and the spots that the glitter will create on the skin. It will create something that is very hard and can be very expensive to edit. So for daytime, you want to keep it as soft and as matte as possible. You want to ensure that you're not caking or baking your face. A lot of persons have this misconception that the more foundation you apply, the better or the smoother your face will appear. This is recipe for disaster, especially if it's a morning wedding, because let's say, for example, the time is very hot, and it doesn't matter how expensive your makeup is, how expensive your makeup artist might be, the makeup will shift.
Right.
For the makeup or 200,000, it will shift. So you want to ensure that you're not piling on, or your makeup artist is not piling on too much product, so that when your skin starts to sweat, it is just creating this big mess on your face.
Especially if you're in a morning hot wedding.
The morning hot wedding, the face will start running. I've visited several weddings in the past, and I've noticed that some of the persons, especially the bridal party, the makeup just running. And yes, you're not the bride, it's about you, but the bride have to ensure that she is always considering her bridal party, because at the end of the day, they're going to be in your pictures. They're also on show, so you want to ensure that you prioritize their face as well. Even if you don't have a professional makeup artist taking care of them, ensure that the look is the same right across the board and everybody look ready. You don't want them to look like puppets up there and their face running and
exactly,
and it just looks like a big hot mess. Something you want to advise against. You also want to play with your eyes a little bit. So if you're not as dramatic as some women might be, you might not want to go with the fake lashes, but for photograph purposes, if you get those infused ones, it really allows the eyes to pop. I got mine done by Flutter Lashes JA, and she was just everything. And the reason I did it, not because I wanted to just have infusion lashes, is because I know that I'm very emotional. And I didn't want to put on those strip lashes, and before you know it, I start crying, and the lashes gone north and south. Because I would not be a happy bride as much as it's my day, and I'm very emotional. I'm crying when I'm looking at those pictures. I'm going to be embarrassed. So because I know how I am, I mean body sometimes, I make sure to listen. I am going to call this lady and get them done, because at the end of the day, I am sure that they will hold up.
So that's another tip.
Yeah, man, you want to ensure that you are you're getting them infused if you're going with fake lashes. Not saying that you can't use a strip on them working out. Not saying it can't happen.
Right.
I want to be sure that if my eyes start tearing up, I don't have my lashes lifting from the inside and it just look crazy. When I'm supposed to be photographing, I'm thinking, oh, so how my lashes look, or I'm saying to my makeup honor or my matron of honor, you can tell me if my lash want to fix it, can see if you can fix it for me. Because me I think some lashes gone, I do them own business and it will just not work. Yes. So yes, you want to go soft and then you want to go matte with the shadow because you don't want it to look crazy up there in the morning. You have on woolly shimmer and glitter and like it's a soca party you're going. You want to ensure
exactly for morning wedding.
Too much product on the face, especially under the eyes, because you have this thread now where you have the highlights and the contour, and yes, that's a thing, but you don't want your pictures to be dated. And let me tell you why. Let me expound on that. 20 years down the line, when you're looking on the pictures, you can tell that this was the era where you have the highlights and the contour, and then some persons look very, it make your face look very hard if it's not done properly. Not saying you can't contour and highlight for your big day, you know, because you want to look out there, you're shining and whatever. But you want to ensure it's right, which is why the consultation is important. Again.
Right.
You also want to ensure that you're not packing the product under your eye. So contouring and highlighting is one disaster or potential disaster. The second one is packing too much products under the eye, especially if you are somebody who has mature skin. If you put too much products under the eye, it will start creasing and just look very, yeah.
Yeah, we get it. We get it.
Yeah.
We get it.
If the person is very good at editing, it will be very hard for them to fix. So you want to ensure that your makeup is not packing too much products under the eyes, because you know under the eyes is very soft and it has natural lines. So if you're baking it and you're putting on the concealer here and the concealer here because you want the highlights and the contour to look out there, that's another recipe for this. So just go as light as possible. And I would advise you to do airbrush if you don't have acne prone skin, because that is the lightest you can possibly get with application.
Okay. And we're still on morning wedding.
Yeah, still on morning wedding. You also want to
that
if you are you have oily skin, you're not using, or your makeup artist is not using a foundation that is oil based, because that's like mixing up the ingredients for a proper baking to take place, and your face will just shine from now till next year. Like here, how your mention of oil is trying to cool down up there, the oil is just gonna come through.
Cooling it down and patting the face is still going to be sweaty.
Yeah, and it will cause the makeup to shift too and just look like a hot mess, and you don't want that.
Right.
A lot of brides also forget to apply makeup to the body, especially the chest area, because they don't want to soil the dress and whatnot. But you have to be smart about this, because yes, you want your face to be glamorous and nice and you're ready for the limelight, but what if you have chest acne? You want to ensure that the person who is doing your face understands how to blend so that your chest and your face look like the same. Marketer shouldn't be using
the same.
Right, they shouldn't be using a tone to begin with.
Especially if they're wearing the altar top dress.
You want to ensure that they carry the makeup down to that section so that everything blends and it looks nice in the photograph.
But do we have makeup that doesn't soil Do you have brands that don't soil any at all? Like if you wipe it, it's still.
Sprays that you can spray on, that will prevent it from soiling. But even so, the makeup artist can be so skilled that she applies it and it doesn't mess with the dress at all.
Because I think that would be one of their concern why they don't want to bring it down for real, to not have the dress being soiled.
You just have to find a spray to fix it that it doesn't move. You also want to ensure that, I know you wear on morning weddings, you want to ensure that if you are going to use sunscreen, it's a tinted sunscreen, because they have some sunscreen that is very heavy and it will give a flashback in the pictures. Even if your makeup artist is the best looking sliced bread, if you have that white sunscreen before you have on the powder and all of those things, I'm telling you, it will cause problems. So you want to ensure that the sunscreen either is clear or it is tinted, and it's not like a heavy, creamy finish that will cause you to have flashback.
All right, so what we have so far, Anita, remind me of the tips that we have so far.
The tip to have so far, you don't want to apply too much makeup, so you're trying to avoid the cakiness and the runniness of the makeup. You don't want to apply too much makeup under the eyes, because it will cause the eyes to have wrinkles and just define those sogginess if you have mature skin. You don't want to forget your bridal party, because although you are the main person, these persons will be in your pictures, and you don't want to be looking at me like, but my pictures would have been perfect. Face Navarro, you understand? Right.
Right. So, and that is why consultation, I think that is the biggest tip, and that they have to consult with the makeup artist before the day.
It is very important. If you want to save on time and you want to be a happy bride, these things are important. We also spoke about lashes, because we're on morning weddings. You can use lash enhancers or enhancements, but just be cognizant of the amount of volume. And you don't want to be a case where you've never done this before, and because it's your big day, you want to go all out and you want to contour, highlight, bronze, everything, and then when you go up there, your husband cannot recognize you because you just look like lashes out there like Betty Boop, and every back is just like this gush of wind just blowing everybody away. You don't want that. You want to be a nice looking bride, so you go very soft on the makeup application, as well as if you're going with the infused lashes, ensure that it fits your personality, not because everybody is doing it. It doesn't make it right for you to do it too because it's your wedding. You have to ensure it's your personality. The makeup fits your face, not because everybody going with contour and highlight. They must contour and highlight too, because it can make your face look very hard and tough in the pictures. I'm just being very honest with you, right? You don't want that. You don't want your pictures to be dated in that the bronzer and the toner and the this and the that and the heavy contouring just look like you're trying to.
All right. So we have covered everything for morning weddings now, the do's and the don'ts. We have covered everything for morning weddings, the do's and the don'ts.
Pretty much I've touched it all. You want to ensure that your face, whether it's morning, evening, twilight, you want to ensure that your skin condition is at its best. So you want to ensure that you're cleansing, toning, and moisturizing as best as possible at least 2 weeks before. Don't wait until the day before. If you've never done a facial in life, don't wait until the day before to go and get a facial because you're getting married tomorrow. It don't work like that. Your skin is gonna show you who's the boss and send up some serious pimples on the day of your wedding. You don't want that. So do these things at least 2 to 3 weeks before to ensure that your skin gets time to heal and rejuvenate.
Right. So, well, pretty much most of these tips will go for night, but I mean, with a evening wedding, you can go a little bit more on the eyes.
And for evening wedding, you go in with the shimmer, but don't go in with too much glitter. I know a lot of brides like the flashiness and the excitement, but it's safer to go with shimmer as opposed to glitter because the glitter gives a flashback even if you're going with glitter, the person has to know how to apply it so that when the photographer is doing his work, he doesn't get that flashback, because he'll have some white, like iridescent looking light on your face and on your body depending on the angle, and these things are hard to correct and they can be very expensive to correct as well. So
Okay.
to go with shimmer, because shimmer is not as hard when the light hits it, as opposed to going with the glitter that is actually some particles that bounces light. Right. For evening weddings,
Right.
go in with, you can go in with fuller lashes. I'm not advising against the strip, as I say, it's just that me personally prefer infused, because I think you have more security. Although some persons may argue that the strip lashes photographs better because it gives you a nice look. I personally, as I said before, prefer to go with infused lashes, because if you're somebody who gets very emotional, your husband singing to you, you just can't believe that you finally get in the ring, you're about to be Mrs. whatever, your eyes naturally will just start sweating. And I'm telling you, it will start peeling from the inside. And you're talking to people, they're not even looking at how beautiful you are, they're just so distracted by the fact that your lashes are cocking off, right? And then you're taking you have to just be trying to be discreet about it and trying to get your girls to fix it, and you're not going to be happy because you're so caught up with the lashes falling off and people are going to see it, and you're not going to be as beautiful as you want to be, and you're just not going to relax and enjoy yourself. So big up to the people who want to go with them strips, but I am for the infused.
Why? The infusion.
Security.
Right. So I mean, that's pretty much it. So because for brides, I would say don't go overboard. Then that's what you're saying.
Don't go overboard. And as I said before, yes, it's your big day and you want to be beautiful for your husband and you want to be the center of attention. But if you've never done shimmer before, you've never tried the lashes that flutters out at the end, don't do it for the wedding. You're going to scare and shock your husband. You're going to scare and shock your family. And you're not going to look as natural as you are, right? You look like somebody else. And you're going to be uncomfortable too, because if you've never worn lashes before, and this is your first time, you never did the consultation. So the first time you get in lashes on is on the wedding day. It can be a little uncomfortable if it's your first time. So your eyes are going to feel heavy. You're going to be squinting as opposed to looking relaxed, especially in the photographs, and you don't want that. So if, as I say, I can't advise you enough, ensure that you do a consultation. Even if it's not a full face, meet with the person, at least do the eyes so you can see what the eyes look like. And
okay. All right.
Exfoliation, because as I said before, you can't have skin that is not smooth and expect that your features pull off. You need to use beauty therapy, your best to fix it. If your skin condition is one that is flaky or it is dry and all of those things going on for it, it's going to be very difficult for the person who's working with you. And as before, while you don't want to have pimples on your day, it is easier to conceal a pimple than it is to conceal skin that is scaly.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So great tips, Anita. But before we go, I'm gonna ask you to. I have some sponges here because when I was growing up, and my mom had makeup, all she had was a little powder thing with a little soft thing like what you would put powder on.
Right.
That's what she had this big palette of eyeshadow and the little brush in there. But nowadays, when I say you step out with all your brushes and your this and your that, and you're like, really, you need so much brush to put on makeup?
Yes.
So I have this. So if you can tell us where do you use this shape sponge? What do you use it for?
First of all, that brush is called a beauty blender, and you use that whenever you're trying to blend. You see, for persons who prefer to have their face contoured and highlighted, when you put on the concealer, especially under the eyes or the nose and those places, you use that beauty blender to tap into the skin to blend the product, so you have a smooth finish. You don't have no harsh line here or harsh line there, right? That's what that's.
Okay, so that's so this is a beauty blend. Okay, so there's another shape because I got a bag and all these different shapes are in it. So
fine. That look like it's a sponge that you use to apply the powder. Some persons use it to apply the cream as well, or the liquid foundation, but it's good for applying powder.
all right, so that's, and then there's another shape. What is all these shapes for, Anita?
It's the same as the one you showed before. So they all serve the same purpose. It's just that they're in different shapes.
So this and this same purpose.
The pink one, the two white ones serve the same purpose.
Okay.
Another thing we want to mention,
so
for persons, not to cut you, Latoya, for persons who are using professional makeup artists to do their makeup on their big day, I'm not telling you to be nosy or to put your makeup artist under pressure, but it's your face, it's your skin, it's your body. You want to ensure that the person who is working on you, even if they say that they're licensed and they're certified, inspect the brushes, right?
Exactly.
These things can hoard bacteria and cause breakouts and fungus on the skin. And if your brushes are not clean and you're coming to do my face on my wedding day with dirty brushes, it's not keeping. I prefer to just,
right.
It's good knowing you shake your hand and just do it myself, because I'm very picky, and as much as I'm a makeup artist myself, I could not have managed on the day to do my face. I was too nervous. I started and I'm like, no. Luckily my sister knew who I am, and she had this person on board, and the lady was just fabulous. Like, she just gave me exactly what I wanted. Right. I was happy. So ensure that
ladies,
inspect the brushes, right, before they apply them to your face, because as I said before, if the brushes are dirty, it can cause breakouts, it can cause pimples, it can cause fungus on the face, and you don't want that. You don't want after like your wedding, you have this skin condition where you never know where it come from, and you just can't know. Another thing you also want to be cognizant of, whether or not the person is licensed or certified, is whenever you're applying things to your eyes, you want to ensure that you're using disposable items. They're not using fully that they're going to be dipping here and dipping there, and they do it on this eye and they do it on that eye. And I'm not saying you're going to put them under pressure, no, but as I say, you want to ensure that you're getting the best of the best and that you're not exposing yourself to the elements. Put it that way. Right.
That's after you have a breakout after the wedding.
You ensure that they're using disposable products on your eyes. They have their sanitizers, they have their alcohol, and they're using clean brushes on the skin. It may seem simple, but trust me, those babies are breeding grounds for bacteria. You don't want people coming and say, oh, I'm a licensed and certified makeup artist, but they look in their kit. Everything does look like it's a little dump, it's a little trash can. This is going on. Because you know, when your face get done, but you want to get the ring long time, you're not paying attention to these things. Before them touch your face, ladies and gentlemen, ensure you're scrutinizing every bristle, those brushes, to ensure that them don't look dirty. If they look dirty, just ask them please and thanks. You're not being disrespectful, but you'd prefer if they use disposable items on you or use clean brushes. Right?
Okay. Great tip. Right. So Anita, so basically when I'm looking back on these sponges that I have here, and you're saying apart from this one,
yes,
everybody else does the same thing, and it's not. It seems like it's kindergarten school, you know, match the shapes. When the kids have to have the shapes, what is this?
It doesn't necessarily have to have that shape. As I said, persons who manufacture these things are just being creative and giving you a variety. So you don't have everything looking like a circle, you don't have everything looking like a square, but they all serve the same purpose.
Okay, great. So a tip that I saw, Shay 25 posts is that she brought her own brushes.
Yeah, man,
so that's a good tip.
Yeah, man.
Right. So you can buy your own brushes and bring it for your makeup artist to use on your wedding day. That's a great tip.
Yes, and even the mascara. So those mascara that comes in the container with the wand, ensure that they're using disposable ones. Let me just give me 1 second. Let me show you something. Ensure that they're using disposable ones because this. Let me find the one. All right, here we go. Ensure that they're using the disposable ones because, as I said, a lot of makeup artists are, so they say, when they open this mascara, they use it on your
Right.
left eye and they dip it back in this thing and they use it on the right eye. And they use the same thing on everybody else within your bridal party. And that will cause some serious eye infections and you don't want those things. So ensure that they have these things. And they are very cheap too. Them though habit is cheap, them cheap. They can buy these disposable spoolies. They're called spoolies and they should have 2. I'd say have 4 because if it falls to the ground, you have to ensure that you throw it away. You can't take up things off of the ground.
Right. So basically, they need 2 for each person.
I would say have 4 just in case because if one of them falls to the ground, you want to have an extra one. And if you use it
right.
eye, you dip it in the thing and you use it on the left eye, you discard of this and you dip it in and you use a new one, dip it in and use it on the right eye. Never double dip. So if you have, let's say using this on the left eye, that's who I am, and you don't have the mascara that you can scrape out and put on a container that you're working from. If you dip this into the container that has the mascara and you want to apply more to the eye, it is not advisable to dip the same thing into the same mascara tube for the left eye because you're transferring things from this eye to the container. And you're going to use this again on somebody else. And you don't know the person who you're working with. Even if them eye don't look red, you don't know what kind of condition they have. And persons have sensitive eyes. I know for a fact that I can't share personal things that I use on my eyes because they'll itch me, they'll start watering, and they'll get red.
And I've worked with you already for an event where you did my makeup, and yes, you had this. For every dip, you had a new one.
But very thought figure up. They want to have this, and I've seen other makeup artists, them have this and them, so them come to them work and it's the one mascara them have and them use it on the eye, the left eye, them dip it in there again, use it on the right eye, and them use the same thing on other persons. And I'm like, but these people don't realize them just creating a recipe for disaster. What if I have a condition with my eyes? You don't know, and they're using this one thing on me. You don't even have disposable spoolies, and you go to the other person using the same thing. It's a problem. You also have the same condition with the liquid eyeliners. It comes just like
right,
but you have the disposables as well. I would say have 4 for one person because if it falls to the ground or if you need to go again and dip for the same left eye, you want to use another one. Because again, you don't know if the person has conditions, you don't know. Persons can come and look pretty and them look rosy. You don't know what's going on with the eyes, and you can infect your clients simply by double dipping and not changing your products that you're using on the eyes. I don't play those jokes.
Okay, so
Beyonce, license, Anita, Sutherland, charge for this and that.
Well, it's worth it, and that is what I want to get at because Anita, you have given us great tips for our bride, and that is why I do these vendor Wednesdays, because I want people to know that the vendors that I work with, they're so professional in what they do, and I have the best persons working with when I have a wedding team. And this was great, Anita. Shay 25 said, it's the first she has to one disposable spoolie. You see, and we learned today because I actually learned a lot, right? So and she used them, guys, because she did my makeup for an event, and I did ask you, I was like, you're going to use one for every dip you dip, and she said, yep, I am, and she did that. So great tips, Anita. Anybody have any questions for Anita? Anita, before you go as well, you want to just give them all your handles where they can find you, your telephone number, apart from if we are booking together,
right.
Person should able to find you. so you can give them, if there's no questions,
Sure.
no questions, guys. They give it. They give it when they have fusion lashes. Okay. Put them on hand too. Okay, so there are other persons who know about the spoolie shea. Other persons know about the disposable spoolie.
Yes.
This was so great, like great advice for the brides. And this will be playing on my page for those who didn't get to join and to rewatch. So, where can they find you?
That's a very good practice, Bree, because trust me, people's eyes and conditions, it's serious business. And you don't want to set a bad reputation as a makeup artist or licensed beauty therapist who is double dipping, or you're giving people serious eye condition because you're not practicing hygiene.
Well, Shayna, you need to start hire Anita to do your makeup, because she said nobody ever used disposable spoolies on her before. So this is news to her.
Condition yet. It's serious business for them to be double dipping and using the one product on 5, 6, 7 people. Especially if you have eyes that are sensitive. And also, I'm not telling you to walk and examine or scrutinize the people makeup palette, but there's an expiration date on makeup. You hear? And I hate to have to say this tonight, but if when you have makeup that is expired and it is used on the face, it will cause a condition called dermatitis of the skin, which is some little rashes on the nose and under these places. So I'm not telling you that you should go and ask your makeup artist before them start. So when you bought that product, or what's the expiration date on it, because some of them can lie to you. But it's just good to just trust your instinct. If you're working with somebody, you realize that they're very, edgy, or you're asking the relevant questions and I'm not too sure what to ask you, don't make them really go on your face, because it might be that you just open up yourself to some serious skin conditions. And makeup that is expired, as I said before, it can cause breakout, it can cause skin rashes, it can cause skin infection, all sorts of something. And all the things. Just when the makeup starts breaking down after 6 months, it starts breaking down right towards bacteria. Whether it is in the tube, if it's a cream, whatever it is, and you can't know by looking with the naked eyes. But once it's applied, naked eye, like a day after, trust me, when you have face that needs to be exfoliated and it's almost like within the pores you're seeing some things that look raised up, that's actually dermatitis. Right. Yeah, and it sometimes itches and it sends up some serious bumps on your face, and you wonder, when we eat or when we drink, is the dirty makeup, the expired makeup that the makeup artist used last on your skin, love, that because it's causing it. But that's where I rest my case for tonight. Okay, somebody said when will be the next live? Okay, well, I do my lives every other Wednesday. So you can check my page for the next live. I don't know if Anita wants to do another live. I think you should, Anita, because you are full of information. Shayna, you really go through it. She said she had a makeup artist back out a big dirty brush on me one time. Lord of mercy. Not on this face, not at all. No. So, guys, not with Anita. She's very professional. So, and tell us where your handles are, your contact, your email, all of those. That if a bride is not, say, a bride outside of me want to, book with you. Yes, she's a makeup encyclopedia, Anita. I try. And I like to be. Yes, she is. Too, because big makeup encyclopedia. I'm not here knocking any makeup artist or licensed beauty therapist, but the truth is, a lot of persons, because it is an easy trade to learn, a lot of persons watch YouTube videos and become makeup artists, and they don't have the formal training behind it. And this would allow them to understand bacteriology and understand the different skin conditions, if the client is has oily skin, you don't use oily products on them. You have to cleanse, tone, and moisturize. A lot of them don't know these things because they are not formally trained. And I say I'm not here to knock them.
Right.
If you are a makeup artist and you believe in professionalism and you want to put your best foot out, I would advise you find an institution that offers training and certification in this area and get yourself up to standard, because it's not gonna just work with some people for you to say, oh, I'm a makeup artist and it's gonna fly. If you want to set yourself as a particular standard, you have to show up as a professional. You have to invest in yourself, develop your craft, and just put yourself out there, and the clients will find you.
Right.
Yeah.
And the client.
They can find
Yes.
at Anne Clarke, MUA, which is this place. That this page is Anne Clarke, M.U.A. I'm also at Anne Clarke, JA. And if you want to find me for image consulting and clothes and a bag of excitement, you can find me for Anne Clarke.
Exactly. Yeah, man.
Here with you too, because that's fine. So it's 841-9961. That is 841-9961.
So, great. All right, guys, if you have no questions, this is the end of the live. I really thank all of you that have stick with us to the end. And Anita, boy, I wish I could have. We need a master class from you, and I think we should arrange a master class from you so people can really learn a lot. Because you gave us some bag of information tonight, and the brides will really appreciate it. That it's not just a go get somebody to plaster your face, but it's to do it properly and that you look splendid on the day also. And then after the day, you're not in breakouts. After your wedding, you probably on your honeymoon and I see some big stuff come up on your face, and I wonder like.
I eat the night before. I don't even realize these are dirty brushes and the expired makeup that your makeup artist use on your face.
Right.
It's not keeping.
Right. Not keeping. So thank you guys.
We had a master class, supposed to have it in March, but then Corona just showed up with her dirty self and I had to cancel. But now that the world is slowly opening up, I'm looking to set a new date so that I can definitely move forward with this, because I have persons who are waiting impatiently, wanting this class, and I'm so ready to share and to just have a good time with everyone that wants to learn.
Good time.
Even if they don't want to do professionally, you just want to know how to be your own professional makeup artist and how to do it right. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to empower, educate, entertain, all the above.
All the above. Yes, Anita, lady of many hats. We thank you for joining us tonight on Plan-tastik. And always a pleasure working with you. And guys, if you can't find her, just link me up and we'll send over the details. And this live will be on my story for 24 hours, and I'll try to post it on IGTV. I posted the last one, but the others are not posting, so I'm going to try again. My son is saying something to me. I don't know what he's saying.
Mommy boss, tell him.
But thank you, Anita. It was a pleasure. And I hope yes, and I hope we're doing many weddings after Corona, because I know it's opening up slowly. They reach 50 persons per wedding. So I am back on the booking trail, and we definitely work together with our brides and our bridal party to come.
Forward to working with
you. All right.
Also, it was my pleasure chatting with you. And
all right. Right. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.